Hello there, lovely people. My name is Martin Brennan, and today, Roy, Harrison, and myself will be going for a deep dive into Microsoft Multipoint Server, including its history, features, advantages, and disadvantages. Unfortunately, as you will soon find out, we were unable to create a way to demonstrate the capabilities of Multipoint remotely due to the requirements for physical hardware and incompatibility with virtual machine environments. So, to make up for the shortcoming, we will also be showing a pre-recorded demonstration from YouTube to give you a better idea of what this software can look like in action. This can be a lot to take in, so please, make yourself comfortable, grab a cup of tea or coffee, or a beer if that's more your thing. And without further ado, let's get started. First, I would like to provide a brief refresher on Multipoint before taking a deeper look at the software, just in case you missed our previous pre-presentation. To recap, Multipoint is a server operating system based on Windows Server, which utilizes remote desktop services technology to host several independent computer terminals, also known as thin clients, from a single server. Not to be confused with Windows Multipoint Mouse, which is a deprecated piece of software released by Microsoft in 2006 with the same Multipoint branding, which enabled multiple pointing devices to be used on a single computer. Designed to be a revolutionary new way to bring computing power to educational environments in an affordable way to developing areas where this was previously not possible, there was a lot of excitement building for Multipoint Server's initial release. Now, although Multipoint sounds great on paper, it's worth noting that having multiple terminals connected to a single host can be very system intensive. Microsoft recommends anywhere between 6 and 40 CPU threads paired with 8 to 12 gigabytes of system memory, depending on the number of clients which will be connected to the host, in addition to the types of tasks that these clients will be performing. Despite these relatively high system requirements, implementing Multipoint in an environment with many thin clients is typically significantly cheaper than creating an environment with fat clients only. It's also no secret that desktop computers consume a lot of power. Another big promise of Multipoint was to greatly reduce overall power consumption by using the thin client model, rather than having many power-hungry fat clients, many of which aren't even being fully utilized. The first version of this software was based on Windows Server 2008 R2 and was released by Microsoft in February of 2010. The operating system was made available in two flavors, Academic and OEM, both of which had different licensing models. In March of the next year, Microsoft released a minor revision of the software, which included some key features, such as the ability to connect multiple stations using traditional RDP clients, and also included support for running the operating system via a virtual machine. This operating system was distributed in an affordable standard version, as well as a pricier premium version, which included the ability to connect up to 20 workstations simultaneously, as well as the ability to join to a domain for Active Directory account management. The final standalone version of Multipoint was released as Multipoint Server 2012, which included many of the features available in Windows Server 2012. However, this version also had some downsides. For example, the default desktop experience for users was the poorly reviewed Windows 8, which many consumers were not a fan of. After this release, Multipoint slowly started to lose interest due to alternate solutions appearing, such as the Linux-based Linux Terminal Server project, which made Multipoint largely obsolete. Despite this, Microsoft would continue to support Multipoint features through the Multipoint Services role available within Windows Server 2K16. Roy will demonstrate the installation of Multipoint Services within Windows Server 2K16 later in this presentation. Finally, with the release of Windows Server 2K19 version 1803, Multipoint is officially no longer supported as a role. So, what do you think about this software so far? Now that I've introduced the features and history of this software, I will allow Harrison to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of Multipoint Server to help you decide if this operating system is a good fit for you within your environment. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Harrison Woodman, and I'll be talking about the benefits and disadvantages of using Multipoint. So, what is Multipoint's main purpose? Well, that purpose is education. Many schools have adopted Multipoint for its ease of use and cost. Many schools have problems with affording computers, but with Multipoint, you can cut down on a lot of the costs that may be required. Some schools also worry about the environment. A solution to this problem is green computing. Green computing is environmentally friendly use of computers. This can range from energy efficient hardware or safe disposal of electronic waste, also known as e-waste. Multipoint reduces power consumption and the amount of e-waste created by these computers. IT support can be very expensive, especially with smaller schools or businesses. Teachers can easily run Multipoint without any major problems and without IT support. This could save on thousands of dollars of staff and resources. Another upside is shareable screens. You can make a student share the screen to help with a question or show yours to give insight on the lesson. Kids may also get distracted by sites or games while on the computer, so you can restrict internet access or freeze their station to get their attention. IP addresses can also be given to multiple stations. This allows the use of unique software that requires an IP address. Multipoint is not limited to just education. Most start-up businesses or companies have many problems with buying computers for every employee. With Multipoint, you can reduce the cost and upkeep these businesses or vendors would require to keep multiple computers running. The last point I want to talk about is the cost. A huge problem with computers is the amount of hardware needed to run these systems. For example, network switches, cables, CPUs, hard drives. But with Multipoint, you can reduce this cost by the thousands. I've heard of many stories of schools and businesses which have saved roughly around $100,000. Multipoint has a few fatal flaws. What are those flaws? The biggest one being a lack of redundancy. If the host machine fails, everything goes down with it. For a business, that could mean hundreds or even thousands of dollars down the drain. This wouldn't be practical for large businesses that need these stations to be always running. Also, another reason is Microsoft has discontinued support for Multipoint. It may also have incompatibility issues with certain software or hardware. So I will be handing this off to Roy, which he'll be going over the installation of Multipoint. He'll also be talking about how Multipoint will be used. And that is the end of my part of the presentation. Thank you and goodbye.
So, how are you enjoying this presentation so far? Multipoint is surely an interesting operating system with many key advantages and disadvantages. That being said, I'm sure that you are dying to see all of this in action, so in a moment, I will hand it over to our very own Multipoint master, Roy, who will demonstrate the installation and use of Multipoint services within Windows Server 2K16. This exciting demonstration will be the final piece of content included within this presentation. I hope that you enjoy, and thank you once again for watching our hybrid presentation.
Hey guys, this is Roy, and for my part of the presentation I'm going to show you guys how to get Multipoint up and running. I will also be presenting a third-party video of a live demonstration. The reason I can't do the demonstration myself is I don't have the infrastructure to complete this Multipoint demonstration in a virtual environment. Okay, so we start off by creating a virtual machine of Windows 2016. It doesn't have to be run in a virtual machine, and it also doesn't have to be Windows Server 2016. But Multipoint is deprecated as a role in Windows 2019. So if you want to use Windows 2019, you'll need a Multipoint ISO for the installation. So I've already created my virtual machine using Windows 2016. And I'm going to show you guys how to add it as a role. So you go into Manage, Add Roles and Features. Next, Remote Desktop Services Installation. Deployment type, it's going to be Multipoint Services right here. The server that I'm on right now. And select restart the destination server automatically. I'm going to pause there and start it up again once we're back in action. Okay, so we're back and the installation just completed successfully. It's worth noting that you can do this, you can run Multipoint as a standalone server. You don't have to be a member of a domain, but you can also use a domain. So you close that. And I'm going to show you the tools for managing. This is the Multipoint Manager. This is where, if you had users connected, stations connected, this is where you would see the stations. You can see the users logged in to the stations. In order to get people to connect, right now I'm in console mode. Well, it says I'm in. That's weird. Anyways. And console mode is used for administrative purposes, and like for updating drivers and updating Windows, etc. When you switch to station mode, that's what actually allows people to connect to Multipoint. And when you're in station mode, everyone that connects to Multipoint, it's as if they're on their own computer, on their own instance of Windows. So now I'm going to show you guys a video, because I'm unable to do a live demonstration myself. It's a pretty good video that shows how it is used.
Hey, I'm here with Dave at TechEd, and we're showing Windows Multipoint Server 2011, and today we're going to show you how to split a station. Alright, so Dave, walk us through how do we split screen one of these stations?
So first here we have a system with 4 different stations set up. Here's the admin station and all the students already on there.
Alright.
So the first step I would do is basically, once you've procured your hardware from your local hardware store, you can use just a standard USB hub. You plug in the mouse and the keyboard directly in the hub, and then you can plug the hub in the computer in one of the available USB ports.
Alright, that was it. Just plugged in an extra keyboard and mouse into a hub.
Just standard hub, standard mouse and keyboard, and then you're ready to go to create a new station.
Okay.
And then here, since we don't know exactly which one is the right station that we want to split, we're going to use the Identify Station feature of Multipoint Server to find out which one we want to split. So by clicking the Start Identifying All Station, we can see that we want to split Station 8 on the bottom left.
Okay.
So the next step is staying again on the Stations tab, where you can get an overall view of all your different stations. We'll select Station 8 and choose the Split Station option, which we click OK on the warning, and already we have split the station now to have a new station on that monitor,
okay.
Which allows you to have 2 students do some collaboration. And then the screen that we're we're presented is the mapping screen for Multipoint Server that allows you to tell Multipoint which mouse and keyboard we want to use. So as the screen indicates, we'll press F on the new the keyboard that we've just connected, and already we've got the two students ready to work.
Cool.
So we'll log on to a new student here. And next we'll also re-log on the student that was already working on the station. And already both students are now ready to collaborate and work together on a new station that's been created on the same monitor for a Multipoint server.
Wow, thanks, Dave. That is really, really cool.
So yeah, that's it for the video. Obviously, you don't have to split the workstation as shown in the video. I just chose this video because it showcases how easy it is to add users and workstations. To conclude this presentation, if you're ever tasked with planning IT infrastructure for a new business or school or what have you, it would be a good idea to keep Multipoint in the back of your mind. Cost savings, maintenance time, upgrade costs, and resources available to the organization should all be taken into account when considering setting up a Multipoint environment. Thanks for listening, guys, and I hope you learned something.